Hi, I'm Joey Weiser, author of the Merman graphic novel series and Ghost Hog from Oni Press, and in this video I'm going to show you how I draw a merman. So we start with a blank piece of paper here and a pencil. I use a blue pencil, which I do so that I can be kind of sketchy with my line work and make mistakes, and it's okay because I'm going to go back over it with black, as you'll see, and then those are the final lines that show up in the drawing. So I like to start with basic shapes, and Merman starts right here with an oval. And then on top of that, I draw two diagonal ovals to indicate his eyes. And then I do a sort of curved, triangular rectangle here. And that's his body. And then we do a half oval with some lines coming off of it. Another half oval with some lines. And I imagine that this football shape here, this oval, is curved, right? And so that I trace around what would be the curved line of the middle, and that gives me a little bit of an idea of where the middle of his face is, you know, like that. And then I am going to ink the drawing, and I start out with some black ink, and first I start out by inking with a brush. I like a brush because it can give me different kinds of line work. I can use like thick, bold line work that looks very cartoony, as well as like thin little line work with the same tool. So I'm going to start by drawing around his eyes here. I'm going to just use these ovals as a guide and trace. You can see that I'm pulling the brush. I'm not pushing it. If you push a brush, it's going to mess up the hairs, the bristles, and not give you a very good line. So I'm going to pull it here and do the next eye here. And then if I kind of imagine that this middle line that I've drawn is the middle of his face, I can use that as a guide to draw some fins that come off of his head. Merman is a fish boy, and he's inspired by a few things, but a big inspiration is my love of old monster movies, and specifically an old monster movie called The Creature from the Black Lagoon. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, like I said, it's kind of old, so it's a little slow by today's standards. Some people might say it's boring, but I think it's a really cool movie and a very cool monster. So I, was thinking, all right, if I made not the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but my own fish creature, who would they be? And I started coming up with ideas, and that turned into Merman, the fish boy, and figuring out his adventures on land. So I'm going to draw some fins on the side here too. Now, Merman is a really enthusiastic character, so I give him a big smile. His smile is so big that it goes under his eyes and goes all the way down to his chin. I'm going to do a curved line here, which is going to be his tongue. And a thing I can do with the brush now is push harder, and it gives me these thick lines that I can use to fill in black space very easily. And with a similar thick line, I can make the collar of his shirt right there. And sleeves, here's his shoulders here. Merman has a white t-shirt with black sleeves and a black collar. So I try to fill in those areas. Big line work here, but if you're using a brush, you can use whatever you'd like to draw. You can use markers or colored pencils, but if you're using a brush, you have to be careful that this ink stays wet for a while. So you'll notice I try not to run my hand across it so I don't smudge any of the ink. Here's his torso, and this other half oval here becomes his sleeve. Fill that in. and then finish up this line here. And then he's almost done, but he needs a little bit of extra detail. For small details, I use what are called crow quill pens, these metal tipped pens that I actually dip in ink. We're gonna use this one today, and Merman's character design doesn't have too much little details, but his eyes, I give him little pupils that are lines, not dots. And there you go, there's Merman. I hope you enjoy reading the Merman graphic novels and can use this video as a guide to draw your own.